Welcome to the Super GT300 Online Championship. This is Carsten talking. This is sponsored by StorageTrunks.co.uk. Race is held at Nurburgring in GP F1 configuration. For a change, Agro at the pole position, so let's see after the rolling start. Chris had a great start, he's drafting Agro. It seems that he might try to attack him. Let's see, Agro goes to defend to the inside. And he goes wide. Surprisingly, he missed the apex and went wide. And Chris is immediately in first position, followed by Agro and Skang. Seems that the start was quite clean, there was no big issues. In this race review I want to show the worst driving we had this week. This week was quite unusual, we had some degree of bad driving. You won't see anything about this in this video, I don't want to remember it. Let's move forward and see the good of it. We are watching Filipino that had some issues in the start of the race with the car heavy with fuel. He was making a lot of mistakes. And here we are watching Filipino being chased by Carsten, having an issue on acceleration and losing the position to Carsten, and I think that was Kosu. Yes, he was. We are now on lap 4, there's TNT that was incredibly fast, fighting with Carl. Carl had some issues, he wasn't so fast as others, but had a great start of the race, fighting for top positions. I think that he was in 4th position right now, and here TNT makes a beautiful, clean pass. This is the way you do it. Well done. On lap 5 there's Pedro fighting with Absolute. Some rain is starting. Not enough for giving some hisses to our driver so far. All drivers still with racing soft, so the track is held in well. Let's see what will happen. And here we have Absolute going a little too long at the braking point and losing position here, going side by side on the final straight. And let's see, it's a good chance for Absolute to take back his position. Pedro is quite heavy with his car too. Let's see at turn 1, and yes, he manages to outbrake him. But Pedro has a better acceleration, side by side. Let's see in the next corners what will happen. And Pedro manages to defend. I didn't expect that. Well done. On lap 7 we have Agro trying to take back first position from Chris. And this is one of the best things of the race. Something that all our drivers should take a look at. Side by side, giving each other always enough space for racing and keeping lines safe. Just beautiful, what to say. Fast forward, for 3 or 4 laps Carsten was fighting with Pedro. Carsten had a crash on lap 3, so he had to pit really early and was trying to make an extremely long stint. And here he was having extremely worn out tires. He would go for something like 14 laps on same tires to try to have something back from this race. Here there was a little rain on track, little wetness, not too much, but a little more slippery than usual. See, quite a lot of work for Pedro to find the gap and pass Karsten. Behind them there's TNT that took advantage of Karsten and Pedro's fighting, closing on. As you see, some water is starting to get raised by the car's tires, so it's starting to get a little more critical right now. Karsten will then pit after being passed by Pedro and TNT. For intermediate wet tires, quite earlier than other drivers, so he had to make a choice, and actually it would have worked quite well if rain didn't exceed a certain margin, to say so. Let's see if at the last chicane Pedro will manage to overtake Karsten. Karsten that was in 4th position right now. And here, finally, for Pedro, obviously, they'll manage to pass. Pedro was being quite concerned by TNT coming behind him. The other two cars were a Logic Line that had a great first stint of race, and Kosu. They would lose a lot of positions with the heavier rain. See what a control here from Pedro. He's blinking his light, trying to distract Karsten. Karsten a little wide here. Pedro has a better acceleration out of there, quite boldly going on the grass even. And here Karsten and Pedro side by side, with TNT just behind them. And yes, Pedro manages to complete a beautiful pass. Took long enough. Now lap 15 we have Philly and Carl. Ooh, Philly was quite bold jumping on turn 1. Compliment for his control. Congratulations for that. And clearly outbreaks Carl, easily passes him. The more the wet the track, the better Philly was going. On lap 15 there's TNT that after Pedro managed to pass Karsten has to do the same. Here Karsten was really running on rims. No more rubber left. Slippery track, so an easy pass for TNT. On lap 21 and 22, Karsten strategy brought him in the top positions again, but this time there's a lot more rain, a lot more wetness on track, and he was easily outpaced by other drivers. See here a beautiful fight in the rain with Pedro again. These two drivers seems to keep fighting each other all race, no matter what are their positions in the end, but at least they are entertaining to watch. Let's see if Pedro will manage to pass Karsten. Yes, but it goes a little wide. Karsten has a better acceleration out of turn 1, takes back his position, going side by side. Great control by both of drivers. Let's see what will happen. And Pedro completes a beautiful pass. Fast forward on lap 27. Again Pedro, this time trying to overtake Kossu. The more water was on track, the more issues had Team Pinkies. And here, see what a control from Kossu. Wow. Yeah, right now it was completely flooded here. And on lap 30, another mistake from Kossu will let through Filipino. We were already racing in a red flag situation. What concerns me, it was really an issue just to go straight. Never mind trying actually to race, and here Kossu destroys some parts of movable barriers, then tries to go side by side on the last turn with Filipino, but has a sudden acceleration, losing grip and crashing. Not easy racing on rain. It is lap 40, here Carsten loses his position. As you see, they are side by side with Gavin, but Carsten has just a choice. Two choices: lifting off and letting Vic through, like he did. As you can see here, there's no throttle applied. Or accelerating, having Vic smash logic line. I'm not sure he took the right decision, to be honest. And it is last lap, actually, with Agro that had to take a splash and go, and you can see on the map Chris taking first position. Last lap is almost empty, tanked too, as you can see. So thrilling ending. And this is the final standings, with Chris winning in front of Agro, then TNT that had a great race, compliments. Then the usual Skang, always solid, Filipino, Pedro, Gavin, Carsten, Kossu, and all the others. It was interesting race. Hope to see you again next week. Bye from Carsten.